Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video. Just yesterday during the latest Nintendo Direct, Nintendo revealed the long-awaited successor in the Tomodachi Life series, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. They dropped the reveal trailer giving us our first look at the game, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the trailer, breaking down everything the trailer shows off, and hopefully highlighting some of the details you may have missed. So without further ado, let's jump straight into today's video.
Did you want to talk?
So we are of course greeted with a wonderful beach scene, which I think many people thought could be a number of different franchises, to be honest, including Animal Crossing or Pokemon, until it cuts to another angle and we see, well, a little Tutoid. Here we get another angle of the beach and our first look at a character. I don't think it's too obvious yet what the game is, but I think Tomodachi Life fans or Miitopia fans, for example, may have spotted it pretty early. Anyway, so far I am already loving the detail here. The little stars in the sand are super cute. Now, as the scene transitions, the cat is out of the bag, so to speak, because we see a total of 3 obvious Miis going about their business, chilling on some decking, presumably right near the beach we just saw based on the palm trees in the back there. There's actually a lot to take in here, including the variety of flowers such as roses, pansies, and cosmos, which are very familiar, I'm sure you'll agree, but more importantly, the detail on the Miis themselves. They have a certain shine to the textures, which I don't remember being a thing, although I do have a memory of a goldfish, but I think this does highlight a slightly more modern aesthetic. Anyway, the Miis are of course all wearing different clothing, which is to be expected. Now, I wasn't joking when I said there was a lot of detail here, because we get our first look at some buildings and shops in the background too, the closest being the TNC Reno, based on the poster and sign there, which I'm guessing is some kind of renovation facility. And then there's a second store in the background named Where or something Where. There's more to these stores, but we'll get to see them in full a little later. Finally, this scene here also demonstrates some in-game sound effects as the Miis are interacting with each other, which is straight up nostalgic to say the least. The trailer continues and moves to another scene showing off yet more Miis, again in a bunch of unique outfits, all interacting with each other. Again, we have a fair amount going on here, such as clouds moving and birds tweeting even. Again, we see a total of 3 buildings, quite clearly this time, including a lighthouse, which again reinforcing that this location is by the sea. But something you may have missed is the building to the left that looks almost identical to the cafe from the original, with the canopies and the hedging around the edges. Like the outside locations we've already seen, I'm sure this is going to be a popular place our Miis visit as part of their daily lives and grab a snack and things like that. Now, given we're here primarily for the details you may have missed, there is some mountains and even cityscapes with a massive bridge in the background. Obviously, we don't know if this means anything or if there's a city or other locations Miis can travel to, maybe future DLC, who knows, but it's a cool detail nevertheless. Honestly, it's probably just like the islands we see on the horizons in New Horizons, for example, but it's definitely something worth pointing out. Now, before we move on, it's probably worth highlighting that all the Miis have different shoes, shorts, skirts, tops, hairstyles, and pretty much everything we've come accustomed to in life sim games, so that's really cool. And again, we get another look at how the Miis seem to have slightly more shine to their hairstyles. However, it's not limited to the Miis, because even some of the items such as the street lamp have this kind of extra finish. The trailer pans out now, showing off more of the beach area, but focuses on a Mii enjoying smelling some flowers and gives us our first listen to the awesome, super nostalgic Robo voice.
How refreshing.
Which I'm sure sounds familiar even if you've never played Tomodachi Life or these spin-offs before. Anyway, we get to see what appears to be a row of beach houses down the right hand side that all look pretty similar. I think the popular consensus is that these are probably beach homes for the Miis themselves, and they'll actually have their own individual building, but we don't know for sure. We do see this Mii chilling outside though, so I'm going to guess that's his house right there. You may have already spotted we get a better look at the cafe now too in the background, assuming that is what it is, but another detail we can see here which I find super interesting is the floating boundary out to sea, again much like the one we see in New Horizons for example. To me, this probably confirms the Miis will of course be able to interact with each other in the water as well as on the beach. This game is 100% going to be full of surprises, no doubt.
How refreshing.
Moving on, the trailer transitions to a group of 5 Miis now, all enjoying some breakdancing. Again, an excellent preview of the different sizes and shapes of Miis, which again are to be expected, along with a variety of clothing and customization options. I'm assuming we'll be able to import Miis and stuff, but that's outside of the scope of this trailer. But one thing for sure is there's definitely a more advanced level of customization than in the original. Either way, their little interactions are super cute and will no doubt make for some hilarious and wholesome adventures when the time comes. Furthermore, before we move on, we get to see more of the beach, the floating boundaries, and even a ship in the background there. It's probably just for show, but honestly, who knows? I think anything is on the cards really, and I like pointing out the really small details. Next up, we see our first look at 2 Miis duking it out, fighting, and just launching their stuff at each other. It's pretty funny actually, just because it's still so adorable. Anyway, this scene shows off a closer look at what we're all assuming is the Mii's beach homes. You can see they're different from facilities, but fairly universal with the other non-facility buildings, if that makes sense. This is the same guy who was chilling there a minute ago, clearly enjoying the weather, but not fazed one bit by the fighting. The interaction between these 2 Miis, by the way, shows off a bunch of items which hopefully gives us clues to some of the other content the game will include, but we'll try to stay clear of too much speculation in this video. Now, we can see some actual facilities in the background there, with the wear shop making its second appearance with some mannequins in the window, so this is definitely a clothing store for the Miis. It's hard to see, but we also have like a plaza area to the left, which I think is the center point of what's clearly an archipelago at this point, but again, we get to see it more shortly. Moving on, yet another new scene shows off even more of the island with a bunch of presumably Mii beach houses, several more facilities, and even more Miis. I will say we've not seen more than 5 Miis in one area yet. I don't know if that means there's not actually going to be that many Miis running around, or if they've purposely kept it minimal for the trailer. That's something we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, we see a few Miis of course. One is asleep, one is doing a workout, and the other is just walking by, going about her business. It's just super exciting to already see a bunch of Miis like just going about their day. Anyway, I have noticed at this stage that the shadows and lighting all appear to be the same. So as things stand, we haven't seen any weather or seasonal changes or even a day and night cycle, but I'm sure we will. Now, if we look past the beach houses, we can see a few facilities. The one on the right appears to be a grocery store based on the vegetable stand out the front. The middle one is some kind of building facility, which I'm sure will be utilized for customizing or actual building maybe. And then the final one is Reich something, which we can't see in full right now. Of course, until we see the big overview of the whole island, this is definitely the best view of a shopping district we get, for the lack of a better term. But yeah, I actually really like the layout so far. Next up, the trailer pans out to the entire area, which if you had any doubts this was some kind of island, reinforces this is definitely an island surrounded by sea. Now, as you can see, the aesthetics are super clean and everything kind of has its own area but still works with everything else around it, if that makes sense. We have the beach and communal space to the south. We have the main plaza and fountain in the center, which will be a hotspot for sure. We have the main shopping district, we'll call it, full of facilities, stores and shops to the north, some social areas such as benches and decking, the cafe down to the left, and pretty much Mii beach houses everywhere else. This actually feels very well balanced to me and really reminds me of the My Sims game, we played recently on my Let's Play channel. Just super cute vibes with the organization of everything. Anyway, here we get to see Right Price, which is likely some kind of store where items can be bought so Miis have more ammo. Quick Brick, which could be a number of things to be honest, but again, I don't want to speculate too much in this video, but if I had to, maybe this is to do with customizing the layout, but I'm not sure. Next we have the grocery store called Fresh Kingdom, and we have a newsstand which will probably share goings on and various activities on the screens there. Next is the Wear and Wear store, which is just a genius name. We've seen this store a few times in this trailer alone, but this is the first time we see it in all of its glory. And finally, of course, we have the TNC Reno store, which will be the center point for renovations and such, and most likely where we'll be able to customize Mii beach houses, hopefully, if that's a thing. The final facility is of course the cafe, which is named Tomoria, which I like because it basically has my name in it. Another small detail we haven't seen yet, but is shown off for the first time in this scene, is the little vending machines on the decking there. I'm guessing they will play a cute role in the Mii's lives too, and probably start an argument or two, to be honest. And finally, I think I can count 14 Mii's in this scene with 14 houses, so I don't know if this is an upper limit or a coincidence, but I thought I'd highlight it anyway, given this is a deep dive and we do like small details. But let me know what you think. Maybe Mii's will live together or move off to the cities, who knows? Now, just as you think the trailer is coming to a close after revealing the title screen and the release date of 2026, which I was not expecting by the way, the trailer cuts to a fresh scene with two Mii's, one running towards the other. Of course, I'm sure you've seen it by now because this will almost certainly become a meme, that one of the Mii's is ginormous and just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's super funny. The giant meme then bends down and speaks in classic Mii style, saying, "Did you want to talk?"
Did you want to talk?
Which is somehow wholesome, creepy, and intriguing all at the same time, and of course opens up a bunch more questions. At which point it cuts back to a Mii sleeping and having a dream outside on a bench of all places, confirming it was in fact not real. Or was it? The giant Mii was actually the Mii walking past in the background. Of course, we don't have too much information to go on at this point, but it's clear that dreams will play a large role in this game, which is probably why it's called Living the Dream. I'm guessing there'll be lots of mini games, activities, and challenges between Mii's through dreams, which, despite there probably not being a story to the game, will see somewhat of a story play out for the Mii's involved. Anyway, we get to see the Mii's texture details again, even closer, which demonstrates a subtle new look, but also, once again, everything appears to be at the same time of day, at least right now. I would expect that to change in future trailers, of course, but we can only go on what we have right now. So there we have it, pretty good trailer to be honest, and I think it surprised a lot of people. If you're new to this franchise, Tomodachi Life is of course a beloved, but some would say forgotten franchise, and at least back in the day shared a large audience with Animal Crossing New Leaf fans, given the game's life cycles overlapped somewhat, and as many Animal Crossing fans were finishing up New Leaf, then ended up moving over to Tomodachi Life. Personally, I'm super excited about this, and I think the Animal Crossing New Horizons community will jump onto this too, and they won't be disappointed, I'm sure. Anyway, it was super awesome to do a trailer analysis like this again. It's been years since we've been able to break down a trailer like this on this channel, so I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to post Tomodachi in the comments and let me know what you're most excited for and what your favorite part of the trailer was. I'd love to know. Peace.